how well known this generally is, but Love Live is the creation of Sakurako Kimino, also known as writer of the series Strawberry Panic, which is very explicitly about the lesbian relationships of its characters. And while she's the creator of the franchise and writer of the mangas and a lot of the other tie-in works, the only credit I could find for her on the actual anime, outside a general creator role, is as one of the writers for the first movie. So, I don't know exactly how much influence she has over the franchise, but it's undeniable that the Yuri origin of the creator carries itself very deep into Love Live. There's many LGBT relationships and themes that I think can be read from various episodes and stories. One of the most popular of these is the idea of Rin being a transgender girl. This mainly stems from Season 2, Episode 5, which is very fittingly titled A New Me, which alone provides enough evidence for one to have this interpretation, but there's surprisingly a lot more that supports it as well. So let's talk about what builds up to it first. During the first 3 episodes, Rin is more or less a supporting character. I think she gets less screen time and focus than basically everyone else minus Nico. It's established that she's Hanayo's more outgoing friend and that she's basically a cat girl, so she's already the best character. And that's basically it. It's not until early in episode 4 where Rin gets her first real establishing character moment. While trying to convince Hanayo to join the idol club, Hanayo asks her to join with her, which Rin is very quick to decline, saying that she's not the idol type and that she's not girly enough for it, and she comments on her short hair. And then we also get a flashback to the two of them as kids, where Hanayo is complimenting a skirt that Rin is wearing before she gets teased for it and immediately says that she's running back home to change. On a rewatch, this actually surprised me since I thought the flashback was a creation of her Season 2 focus episode and not here. Again, these are explicitly Rin's establishing moments. Her self-image of not being feminine enough weren't character flaws created for one episode just to be solved in 20 minutes. They're things that are meant to be part of her character overall. All of this isn't really expanded on much in Season 1. Rin doesn't really get a starring role until A New Me, but I feel like it says a lot that this is where they're explicitly brought to the forefront. So for those who haven't seen the episode, the plot basically involves the second years being on a school trip and their return delayed due to bad weather. And since Ellie and Nozomi are both busy handling student council work in their absence, Rin is put in charge of the club practices, which is something she is immediately hesitant to do, and her nervousness and lack of general confidence leads to nothing getting done. After all of this, Hanayo explains to Maki what we already know, which is that Rin has a lack of confidence stemming from her images issues, and especially her feelings that she's not girly and cute enough to be an idol, let alone a good leader for an idol group. And all of this is brought to a head when the group is to perform at a fashion show, and the center, which since she's currently been put in charge of the group is Rin, is to wear what's basically a wedding dress, which she quickly does not want anything to do with this and shifts the role on to Hanayo and tells her that it fits her much better and she looks much cuter in it, which Hanayo is not really happy with but takes as an answer anyway. We see Rin trying to gather the confidence to try on the little pink dress she has when alone in her room, which is actually something we see in episode 4 as well, in a scene that's explicitly meant to parallel Maki and Hanayo's own lack of confidence to push forth for their dream. Also, while not the same outfit, the one in episode 4 is remarkably similar in design to what'll eventually become her training outfit at the end of this episode. Obviously, it could not be intentional at all, but I could actually see this being an early version of her Season 2 training outfit, which is cute. After a talk with Honoka, Hanayo decides she's not having any of Rin's excuses, and with everyone else encouraging her as well, Hanyo compares what they're doing to the push Rin gave her that inspired her to finally join the club, and loudly, for her at least, argues back when Rin tries to put herself down once again, telling her that she is cute in a very straight way.
You might be the girliest one in the group. What do you think of that, huh?
That's not true, but it is true! I mean, I think you're cute, doesn't that matter? Why won't you just accept it already? You're so cute I can squeeze you!
And she pushes her forward towards the dress in a shot framed basically exactly the same way as when Maki and Rin pushed Hanyo forward towards the club in episode 4. And then there's the musical montage, complete with Rin getting flustered when people think she's cute, her finally trying on the dress we saw earlier, her and Hanyo being adorable together while dressed in what are basically a wedding tuxedo and dress, and finally her coming up to the club's practice in a new outfit, much to the others' encouragement and joy. As mentioned earlier, said outfit becomes her main training outfit for the rest of the series. So do I even need to explain why this is all gay as fuck? This story is basically as blatant as a transgender one as you can get without saying it outright. As a child, she knew about her desire to be seen as a feminine girl, but when she received pushbacks, because it wasn't what was expected of her, it led to her repressing it and being afraid to show to basically anyone who she truly is, which results in major self-confidence and image issues as she gets older that requires the support of people that love and care about her, however she wants to present herself to overcome. Dress she hides at home but psychs herself out from ever trying on is another very trans thing, and I've heard many stories of this exact scenario from other trans women. When she embraces who she is, she experiences euphoria, which is perfectly highlighted by the very upbeat and wedding-like Love Wing Bell. Speaking of which, the song also very strongly supports this idea of Rin being a trans femme who's finally embracing her identity. For one thing, it's the first song in the anime where Rin is the center. I'm basically getting to dissect this thing piece by piece, so let's get on with it. The first lines in the song are, with the footage having Rin and Hanyo do a hug, bounce, this adorableness in general, which is overlaid with Rin trying on her dress in the mirror and even doing a little twirl. Sorry, goals, I'm biased on this one, can't you tell? The moment this is referring to is in canon her embracing her femininity, but could also easily be read as her coming out, with her questioning if it's okay, how happy it makes her, and reassuring herself that anyone, including her, can be cute. Which Rin basically uses as a simplified way of saying feminine, both in this episode and throughout the series, episode 4 especially. And the song in general has a lot of references to transformation, and, well, as the title of the episode says, being a new you, with lyrics such as, the whole song is her embracing the new her that was there all along, finding genuine happiness in being herself and not fearing what may come from that or what is expected of her. I think that last bit is the main thing that really makes this seem so much like a trans story to me. Rin's fears and insecurities are established as stemming largely from the expectations placed on her by those around her. Episode 4 established known she's wanted to be cute since she was a kid, but was always supposed to be the tomboy. And no tomboy wants to wear a skirt. That's weird, after all. She's always had short, boyish hair, so how could she ever be cute? Replace cute with a girl and remove the tom from tomboy, and you basically have a lot of trans girls' experiences. Even if one didn't even know when they were a kid, we've all had that feeling of knowing deep down who we want to be, but just not being able to and being forced back because of what's expected. The idea of having a day where, when surrounded by those who care and are supportive, one can be their true self is, again, a truly amazing thing for any trans individual. Even if it's just for today, I want to be as brilliant as I can be, as the song says. Also, there's this part which is in the scene where Rin comes out to their practice in girl mode, in a dress, for the first time, and it's fucking cute and gay, and you can't convince me otherwise. These insecurities and Rin's desire to be cute are common topics of supplemental material focused on her as well. The biggest is one of her 3 solo songs, which focuses entirely on this, Curing Miracle, which features such totally cis lyrics as, "I want to dance as my brand new self. I can be my true self now, so twirl, twirl, I'll twirl and chase after my goal. I'm almost there, the girly tempo of a beginner rated rises bit by bit, more and more. I'm running down the path to girlhood from the starting point. My reflection in the mirror might just be cute. I'm not confident yet, but I'm going to do my best." I mean, Jesus, do I even need to explain anything here? The references to new self, bringing up a growing acceptance of what's in the mirror and a growing confidence and love of oneself. The line, "I'm running down the path to girlhood from the starting point." Can there even be a more blatant "I'm starting my transition" thing than... The only thing I can think of that would be less subtle is just having the line, "Fuck yeah, just started titty Skittles" or something, which... if this was Nozomi, that probably would be there, let's be honest. Another area where this comes up is in Rin's school idol diary. Each character got a personal diary released written in first person by them, and the first chapter in Rin's is called Dancing and Trying to Change, and is entirely about this too, and complete with her constantly reaffirming to herself, Rin is a girl too, which, let me just read a bit of this. In album photos, you can always see the young Rin wearing blue, green, or aquamarine colored shirts, plus shorts. And Kaiochin at the side was always wearing a very girlish layered skirt with knee-high socks decorated with pink ribbon. It's the complete opposite of Rin. Rin had always been mistaken for a boy a lot too. In junior high, I used to wear my casual clothes and stroll around the station with Kaiochin, and we were often mistaken for a couple. Ah, really? Rin is not a boy! Since when did this start? I used to not care whenever I got mistaken for a boy. I even thought I was pretty cool being the only girl who could be mistaken for a boy in my clique. At the time, I also felt slightly triumphant, but why do I mind so much lately? Rin is a girl too. Rin wants to wear a mini skirt too. Sometimes I really want to say that, but as expected, nothing has changed. Like now, whenever he uses design in their costume, Rin still always gets assigned to wear shorts. Or should I discuss with Katori-chan, who's in charge of designing our costumes, about it next time? Yeah? Rin is a girl too, so just for once, Rin really wants to try wearing an idol costume with a miniskirt. But would it be really weird if I say that? Because Rin is definitely the one who looks most like a boy in Muse. It doesn't matter if it's now or in the past, Rin just looks like a rowdy boy with short hair with not even a slight hint of girlishness or cuteness. Okay, so she's fucking trans. There was a point where it didn't bother her for people to mistake her for a boy, but gradually it began to feel more and more wrong. She's the only mistaken for a boy girl in the group. Her and her best friend seemed like a couple, but she only minds because people thought she was the boy. She wants to wear a skirt, but is too afraid to tell anyone that. She wants to tell everyone she's a girl, but is too afraid to. The story that follows this is about her finally approaching Kotori about her desire to wear a miniskirt and to be more girly, and Kotori helping her by getting her a long hair wig and a cute outfit so she can show up to the club in it, which she does while pretending to be someone else. She says she wears the wig a few times afterwards, but becomes more comfortable in her shorts sometimes, and likes her short hair. She's still a girl even with all those things after all. To me, this just reads as a trans girl first coming out and feeling like she has to overcompensate and hyperfemme, basically. So she comes out and shows she is still a girl and enjoys skirts and such, but that doesn't mean she isn't still her. It all just feels really trans to me. Oh, also, building on her not minding being mistaken for as a couple with Hanyo, just that she's mistaken for a boy. There's a manga story which coincidentally was in an issue that gets delayed for like 3 or 4 years until long after Muse content had slowed, where she makes Hana Valentine's chocolate and asks her to be her wife. This is official. I didn't make this up. And looping back to the start, this is in a manga specifically written by Sakurako Kimino. So yeah, this is official. So in conclusion, Rin is trans and gay.